Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Once again, it's your boy Abdul, the Health Man. I'm here with another video for everyone on the Grown Folks Podcast. Today, we're going to talk about something that has been growing in the health food industry. Everybody nowadays is talking about it, using it. We're going to talk about mushrooms. Now, I know a lot of people right now are using mushroom products, and they're trying reishi and turkey tail and mashima and things of that nature. I'm going to talk about the most important parts of the most important, not necessarily the most important, the most popular mushrooms right now on the market. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about them and what they're good for. But before that, we're going to go into how mushrooms and what part of the mushroom do you use. The mushroom is broken up into three parts, y'all. The mushroom is broken up into the spores, the mycelium, and the fruit and body. Now, why is this important? When you are thinking about a mushroom, the spore is the seed of the mushroom. The mycelium is the root of the mushroom. And the fruit and body is actually the actual mushroom that you see. Okay? So this is extremely important in understanding how mushrooms work, how mushrooms are used in the body, how our body synthesizes and breaks down mushrooms, and when you buy them in a capsule, what are you buying? Okay? So think about this. Nobody is buying spores, okay? It does no necessarily any benefit to you. Most people are buying mycelium or fruit and body. Mycelium or fruit and body. Now, what is the mycelium of the plant? The mycelium of the plant. So let's go through the life cycle of a mushroom. The fruit and body is up. It releases its seed, better known as spores. They flow through the air, okay, and then they land on the ground, and then they actually start to develop and grow. As it germinates, it develops these things called mycelium, okay? Mycelium. Now, mycelium is the root structure, if you would like to say, of the actual plant. So this spore now starts to grow this root structure. The root structure now goes out and finds the food, it finds the nutrition, and it actually starts to communicate with the other mycelium around in its area. Okay? So think of the mycelium being like your subway system. It's underneath the ground. It has all these pathways and all these other things. It's communicating back and forth with other mycelium in the area. Other mycelium in the area. Okay? It is absorbing nutrition. It's creating all these new polysaccharides in the mycelium. It is elongating itself. It is spreading out. And it is starting to develop into the true fungi, that mushroom, that true fungi. And the mycelium can grow for weeks underground. Weeks underground as it germinates and it grows and it communicates and it creates all these new polysaccharides and is all this and it's absorbing nutrition, and then it gets to the point in which now the mycelium wants to start to pollinate. So it grows the actual mushroom part. It first starts with a small little fruit, and then as it grows upward, you start to see the fruit and body, and then the actual full mushroom develops. Now, why is this important? Now, why am I telling you all about this? Because 95% of the life of the mushroom happens in the mycelium. 95% of the life of the mushroom happens in the mycelium. That root structure that we think is nothing is everything. It's everything. Most of the plant is the mycelium itself. And then when it's time to grow and create its new babies to be basically shot out, it creates the fruit and body. Think of it like a seed, but the difference is this. The root structure of a plant is extremely important for the root structure of the plant. But the mycelium in the fungi is the plant. And think of the fruit and body is the root structure, or if you could say the last stage of its development. It's the last stage of its development. The mycelium is basically the plant, and the fruiting body is the last stage of the plant. It's ready to pollinate itself. It's ready to grow and release its other spores out to the environment. But 95% of the life cycle happens in the mycelium. Okay? So when you ever go to like, I don't know, mushroom farms, or if you ever see mushrooms grow, you'll see them growing these mushrooms on what do you call that? On like rice flour or some type of substrate, and you'll see it looks like it's like coming like a sponginess, and then after a while you'll start to see the actual mushroom comes out. But in the beginning, most of it is this spongy white material or this rootish white material that almost look like fungus, that almost look like mold, almost like, if you want to say. But it's not. It's the actual mycelium growing. And then from that mycelium, you start to grow the fruiting body. So that's the way the mushrooms actually grow. So 95% of the mushroom life is in the mycelium. I'm talking about the life cycle. So you got about 5% in the spore phase, not 5%. Let's say 1% in the spore phase, about 90 to 95% in the mycelium phase, and about 5% in the fruit and body phase. Because after the fruit and body is developed, after a while the mushroom dies off. It doesn't take long for a mushroom to die off. It does what it does, and then it dies off. But the mycelium can still live. It's almost like a flower. It's almost like a flower. Every year you will have the same flower develop. But after the summertime, that flower will die. But the roots are still there. Everything that needs for that flower to be developed again is still there. The same thing with the mushroom is the mycelium, the root body of the mycelium. And why am I talking so much about the mycelium? Because the mycelium is the part of the mushroom where all the immuno factors in. It creates all these new polysaccharides in there. Your 1,3 beta glucans outside of being in the fruit and body is in the mycelium. Or ACHCC is also in the mycelium. So you get all these immune boosting effects found also in the mycelium. And there's more gene expression found in the mycelium than the actual fruit and body. So this is very important, okay? So we talked a little bit about the actual structure of the mycelium. So we have the spore. We go from the spore to the mycelium to the fruit and body, okay? Now, what is everyone been talking about when it comes down to mushrooms? Mushrooms are hot right now in the industry. They are hot. Everybody's taking it. You probably heard of mushroom coffee. You've seen mushroom tinctures. You've seen mushroom capsules, mushroom tea bags. They're in everything right now. Mushrooms are in everything. Okay? Why is mushrooms so important? Mushrooms not only act like fungi in the ground, but they actually help trees communicate. I learned this in a nature show. I found this very important. You see how root structures, they actually say, the forest is a living entity, and actual trees communicate between each other through their root structure. Well, a lot of times that root structure is bound to mycelium that's in the soil. So the mycelium is actually acting as a gateway, or let's say it's like electrical wires in the soil for the trees to communicate. Not only the mycelium, because the trees are giving the mycelium and the mushroom a little bit of this sugar to help it stimulate and sustain the actual mycelium, the mushrooms and the mycelium mushroom will say, hey, since you're giving us food, I'm allowing you to use in my network. This is the World Wide Web. You use my network. You communicate with your buddies 2 blocks away. You can communicate with your boy next door to you. That's what the mycelium also affects in the ground. Mycelium also breaks down, or mushrooms also break down, or fungi also break down material in the soil, making it more useful for the environment, making it more useful for the microbes in the environment. So the mushrooms actually help decompose and allow nutrients to be fed back to the soil. So mushrooms are extremely important for the environment. Extremely important. The biggest living entity we know of is a mushroom. It's in Washington. This mushroom covers acres and acres and acres of a forest floor. It's been growing for thousands and thousands of years. And it's underneath the soil. You can't see it, but it's underneath the soil, and it has been growing for thousands of years. So mushrooms are extremely important for biodiversity of the forest. It allows the forest in certain trees to communicate. It acts like the World Wide Web for the forest floor. And it breaks down and allows more nutrients for the plants. If you put mushrooms inside your garden, they make your soil richer. Okay? They can make your soil richer. Okay? So mushrooms are very helpful for the environment. Now, let's talk about mushrooms you can use right now and what's hot. Okay? These are the most popular mushrooms you can use, you can find in health food stores, in stores, that is not necessarily your regular button mushrooms, or is not necessarily your regular portobello mushrooms. These are a little more therapeutic. Now, I'm not saying white button mushrooms are not therapeutic. They are. And portobello mushrooms are very much therapeutic. Okay? And mushrooms are really nutrient dense and low in calories. So mushrooms are really good. And man, when you add mushrooms to like broths, or you add mushrooms to stews, they absorb the flavor of it. Like, I love to add mushrooms in my crock pot when I'm making curry chicken. What? It absorbs the flavor, man. It is so good. So, mushrooms. The #1 mushroom sold on the market, and the king of all the mushrooms, is called reishi mushroom. Reishi is considered the king of all the mushrooms. It's been used in traditional Chinese medicine for over 2,000 years. Okay? It's the baddest mushroom on the market. Now, why is it the baddest mushroom on the market? You're going to hear this with a lot of them. It boosts the immune system. Reishi mushroom actually has been shown to help boost your white blood cell count. Okay? This is not up for debate. They actually have clinical proof reishi mushroom will help increase your white blood cell count. Okay? Reishi mushroom is antibacterial. Okay? So reishi will help you fight off certain types of infections, especially staphylococci bacteria and things like that. Reishi mushroom is anti-inflammatory. That's right. There's a mushroom that'll help you deal with pain. Okay? So reishi mushroom is anti-inflammatory. Trying to cut off some of those cytokines. Okay? Reishi mushroom is anti-aging. It was actually considered for thousands of years an anti-aging mushroom. It made you look younger. The Chinese always said this mushroom will give you longevity, make you live longer, all those things like that. Anti-aging mushroom. This is one of the reasons why it's the king of the mushroom. It's a high antioxidant mushroom. Reishi mushroom helps you with focus, memory, okay, and clarity in mind, okay? Reishi mushroom. It's an adaptogen. Now, we talked about adaptogens before. What is an adaptogen? Adaptogens are foods or herbs that affect the body by reducing the overall stress. So it helps with lowering cortisol level, and it supports your adrenal glands. It reduces your histamines. So if you are a person who is dealing with allergies, you're one of those that allergies is kicking your butt, reishi mushroom can help you. Reishi mushroom also boosts your energy level. Most people, when they notice they're on reishi mushroom, they just feel better. Because not only is it boosting your immune system, but it's actually helping you with your energy level. Okay? And reishi mushroom can also lower your blood pressure. That's right. A mushroom can help you lower your blood pressure. They found that people who consume reishi mushroom have a lower systolic level. Okay? So reishi mushroom can help you lower your blood pressure. Another great mushroom that everyone's talking about right now, you've probably seen it, it's called lion's mane. Now, reishi mushroom is one of the mushrooms that you just don't eat. It's hard to eat. It's hard. Some of these mushrooms you just can't eat. Reishi mushroom is one of those mushrooms you're not cooking. Okay? You have to ground this thing up. You can't cook. It's very woodish mushroom. Whereas lion's mane is a very soft mushroom. If you've ever seen lion's mane, it actually looks like the mushroom has hair growing from it and sliding down it. It looks like a lion's mane. Okay? Lion's mane mushroom. Now, what makes lion's mane mushroom different? Lion's mane mushroom is one of the best mushrooms when it comes down to dealing with cognition. If you have anything going on with the brain, lion's mane mushroom. Lion's mane mushroom has been shown to protect against dementia. Okay? Lion's mane mushroom has been shown to improve symptoms of Alzheimer's. Lion's mane mushroom allows the neurons in the brain to communicate better. They flow better when you consume lion's mane mushroom. Okay? Lion's mane mushroom in large dosages, as far as in the extract form, has been shown to reduce amyloid plaque in the brain. Now, you may say, what the heck is that? What is amyloid plaque? They don't know what causes it, but it's this plaque that gets around the brain, and it squeezes the neurons. It squeezes the neurons. They believe this is actually a protective mechanism, that maybe you had some type of bacterial infection or something that's happened up there that actually causes the body to produce this plaque, because plaque is always a protective measure for the brain. But this amyloid plaque squeezes the neurons, slows down the function of the neurons. Just imagine somebody squeezing your arm tight. You can't move it as easily. The blood flow is going to be hindered if I squeeze your wrist real tight. The same way with this amyloid plaque when it comes down to your neurons. It squeezes the dendrites in the amyloid plaque squeezes the neurons and the dendrites. And it slows down the communication between them. And they found a correlation between this amyloid plaque and Alzheimer's. And they found that large amounts of lion's mane can help reduce amyloid plaques. Okay? Lion's mane can also help with relieving some symptoms of depression and anxiety. Remember, lion's mane is one of the best for dealing with brain function of all the mushrooms. Lion's mane also strengthens the nervous system from injuries. So, if you have been injured, your brain, your neurons, your dendrites, your nervous system has been injured, lion's mane has been shown to help strengthen from that injury. We, right now in the store, if somebody comes in and they're dealing with, like, they had a stroke and stuff like that, and one of the few supplements that we help give them is lion's mane, and we also give them a Chinese organ formula called Rebuilding. That's been shown to help deal with some of the injuries that come from a stroke, such as nervous issues, such as the slouching in the face and the muscles and things like that, because the nerve is not necessarily, in that part of the brain, is not necessarily working properly. So lion's mane help with that. Lion's mane also can protect against H. pylori. Now, we all know H. pylori is the bacteria that helps cause ulcers. Okay? So lion's mane helps protect against H. pylori. Lion's mane is also anti-cancer. We're going to find this with most mushrooms. They have anti-cancer effects because they have 1,3,1,6 beta-glucans that's naturally occurring in them. So lion's mane is really rich in anti-cancer nutrients. It also boosts the immune system. So that's lion's mane. Another popular one right now you'll find out, and like I said, I'm going through the most popular ones because there's a lot of them, but it's too many to go through. I'm going to go through the ones you can find right now almost anywhere. Chaga. Chaga is another great mushroom. Chaga is a weird looking mushroom. It's very, if you ever see it, it looks like a piece of wood, like a large piece of wood, almost like chaga. Chaga also has it works really well with like mocha or chocolate or something. It has that taste that it flows really well with that. Chaga helps you lower your cholesterol as a mushroom. It lowers cholesterol. Chaga lowers cholesterol. Once again, chaga is anti-cancer. It also is rich in AHCC. That's another polysaccharide that's really good for stimulating immune system, and also has anti-carcinogenic effects, and they actually have studies in which people use it along when they was doing chemotherapy. It reduces inflammation. And how does it reduce inflammation? It reduces cytokines. Cytokines are precursors that this is what the immune system shoots out or secretes when it wants to improve or create more inflammation, cytokines. So the chaga reduces cytokines. That is very important. And why was that important? Why can that be important? During COVID, the start of COVID, one of the things that happened, what they were saying, that the first original COVID created this thing called cytokine storm. So the immune system is trying to fight it, and this virus was, causing a lot of issues. The body had never seen it before, this type. So it created a tremendous amount of inflammation all over the body, wreaking havoc over the body. As the body is fighting, it's almost like bombing itself. It's inflaming everywhere. The lungs, the heart, the joints, the brain, all this cytokine storm. This was the danger in the beginning, one of the dangers of COVID. And some nutrients, some things that will boost the immune system, would actually create even more cytokines. Okay? But what they found was the mushrooms boost the immune system and help lower the cytokines. So you got the benefits of boosting your immune system with the reduction of the cytokines. And that's what chaga does. Boost the immune system, reduce that inflammation, makes it more protective for you to fight off viruses. Chaga also protects your liver. If you are a person who is dealing with liver damage, you have cirrhosis of the liver, you are in an environment in which you're breathing in a lot of toxins, which we do in New Jersey, you're drinking bad water, which we do in New Jersey, you should be doing chaga because it protects your liver. You can say, Abdul, I'm doing already milk fish. Great. Then you may not need chaga. Abdul, I'm doing Sasandra. Great. You may not need it. But chaga is not only good for protecting the immune system, protecting the liver, but it also boosts the immune system. So you get a benefit of 2 different or 3 different things in there. Well, milk thistle is not going to have the same effect when boosting the immune system. Chaga is going to detoxify the liver, protect the liver, as well as boost your immune system. Okay? So that's chaga. Shiitake. This is another good mushroom. Shiitake. I remember the first time I read this, I said, what is that, shit take? Because the way it's spelled, it's like it says shit take. I was like, but it's pronounced shiitake. Shiitake is a mushroom that's rich in B vitamins. Now, shiitake is a mushroom that you can definitely eat. Shiitake is a mushroom that's edible. Like lion's mane is edible. Chaga is not as easily edible. You kind of got to grind it. Reishi is not that easily edible. It's really hard. But shiitake is edible. Rich in B vitamins. Shiitake is one of the best mushrooms that, when you talk about longevity, is in that same family when it comes down to longevity as reishi is. It promotes longevity. Makes you feel good. Makes you feel youthful. Okay? Shiitake. Once again, anti-cancer. Once again, lowers cholesterol. But another thing shiitake does is shiitake is rich in vitamin D. It's one of the mushrooms that's rich in vitamin D. Now, there's other mushrooms, but shiitake is one of the highest mushrooms that's rich in vitamin D, naturally occurring vitamin D. Okay? So if you're not a milk drinker and you're not getting enough sun and you don't want to take a vitamin D tablet, take some shiitake mushrooms or go into the store and start eating some shiitake mushrooms. Get your vitamin D up by taking shiitake. Maitake. As you see, all these mushrooms have sort of like a Japanese and Chinese name because they were some of the first that really used them regularly in their medicines, okay, that we can document. Now, I see here saying other cultures did not use mushrooms. These are mushrooms that we can document at this present time, and they did a lot of research on them. Maitake. Now, you probably heard of maitake mushroom. This is one of the first mushrooms to come out to be extremely popular years ago. Now, maitake mushroom. Maitake mushroom is known as the cancer killer. Maitake mushroom is a powerful anti-cancer mushroom. Okay? Powerful anti-cancer mushroom. Really strong. Have been shown in clinical results in conjunction with chemotherapy to be very effective of killing and fighting cancer cells. Maitake mushroom. And how does it do that? It actually has been shown to create apoptosis. That's when the cell goes into its own natural cell death. So it stimulates cancer cells to go into apoptosis, in which the cell will actually die off on its own. It kills itself, and literally the cell will cause like a suicide. It's like the cell goes into suicide mode. Oh, I got to kill myself. So the cell, that's one of the things, as well as maitake extract has been shown to boost your natural killer cells. Why is that important? Because natural killer cells go around and their job is to kill off rogue cells like cancer cells. Maitake mushroom boosts natural killer cells. So it's like it gets your army up. And that army job is to search and destroy. That's all their job. We're going to search and destroy. We're not supposed to be here. So maitake. Maitake is also really good for dealing with viruses, such as HIV and HPV and things like that. Maitake mushroom is excellent for that. Okay? Maitake mushroom also stimulates blood sugar level. You take a maitake, it will keep your blood sugar much more stabilized. So maitake mushroom. And maitake mushroom will lower your blood pressure. Consuming maitake mushroom, plus along with like some grapeseed extract or some olive leaf extract, you're going to help lower your blood pressure. It's okay by itself. It works better in conjunction with other products. Okay? Now this one is a mushroom, but it's a wild mushroom. It's called cordyceps. Cordyceps. Now what is cordyceps? Cordyceps is a different type of fungus. If you ever seen you can look this up on YouTube or the Nature Show. Cordyceps is one of the craziest mushroom fungi out there. I don't even consider it really a mushroom, even though it's in a mushroom family. It's a fungus. Cordyceps does not grow like your typical mushroom. Cordyceps attacks insects. Okay? Cordyceps attacks insects. Cordyceps mushroom blossoms out, comes up, it shoots out these spores. The spores land on insects. Those spores now burrow into the insect and controls its body. As it starts to eat the inside of the insect, it goes up to the brain and controls the brain of the insect. The insect then goes somewhere, bites down, and dies. And a couple of days later, the actual cordyceps, you can see it coming out through the insect's skin. It covers the whole insect because it killed them and it's eating them up. And then the fruit and body pops out the back of the insect or the head of the insect and all that. It is the wildest thing you ever see. God bless us for not being an insect, because that got to be a hell of a death to be eaten alive from the inside out. This is the way this fungus works. Okay? So cordyceps kills off insects. So I don't know how in the hell people back in the day would say, oh, look at that. Look at that. Let's eat that. Let's try that. But they did. And this is what they found when they do use cordyceps. Cordyceps gives you energy. It will give you more energy. This mushroom will give you more energy. Cordyceps improves mitochondria function. That's the energy part of the cell. Okay? It improves oxygenation of the blood. If you consume more cordyceps, your body creates more red blood cells, and it helps improve oxygenation of the blood. Okay? Cordyceps improves stamina and athletic performance. Now, how do we know this? The Russians back in the day were one of the first to do scientific research on this. And they found that their athletes had more blood volume when they consumed cordyceps. It was actually used by cosmonauts in space to help them out with their oxygen levels. Okay? So the Russians did a lot of research on this. Cordyceps help with athletic performance. When you take cordyceps, after a while, after a couple of weeks, you can go longer. Okay? You have more energy, you can go longer. It improves blood flow, and it acts as a natural aphrodisiac. So for men and women, cordyceps is going to improve your sex life. And cordyceps also improves your liver function. Okay? So cordyceps, this is a different type of fungus, but it's a bad fungus when it comes down to health energy, stamina, blood flow. Cordyceps. Turkey tail. We almost done. I'm going through the most popular ones. Turkey tail. Now, if you see this you ever see this mushroom, it actually looks like a turkey tail. Just the back of it. It looks like the back of a turkey tail. So that's why they call it turkey tail. Powerful antioxidant mushroom. It does something that I love about it. It protects your DNA. If you have had like this, the new shot, the COVID shot, and if what you have, they have found that sometimes that the actual shot produces all this inflammation, but it also can damage some of your cellular DNA. That's a problem because damaging DNA is a problem. Turkey tail protects your DNA from oxidative damage. Extremely important because that prevents a cell from becoming rogue and can turn to a cancer cell. A lot of times, damaged DNA is what is caused cancer cells. So turkey tail prevents damage from DNA, as well as we're out here in this radiation and we're eating radiated foods. We are using radiation from our cell phone, our TVs, and all the other things. Turkey tail prevents that damage from your DNA. It's an adaptogen. Just like reishi, it reduces stress and cortisol level. It improves your gut health. It feeds the probiotics in your gut, and it keeps yeast under control. That's one of the benefits of mushrooms. Even though it's a fungi, it does not like candida. Okay? Or candida does not like it. So it protects you against candida overgrowth. So it feeds the bacteria in your gut and protects you against candida overgrowth. So good for your gut health, as well as it protects your liver the same way that shiitake and maitake did. Turkey tail does, and it does give you a little bit of energy. Okay? So turkey tail helps you with a little bit of energy. And then the last mushroom we're going to talk about is mashima. Mashima. Now, mashima mushroom is a different type of mushroom. Mashima mushroom is really good for eczema and psoriasis. It actually calms down the skin. So it's one of those mushrooms that's anti-inflammatory properties, but really good for skin issues. It's, like I said, anti-inflammatory, so it even helps with joints and stuff like that. Rheumatoid arthritis. Boosts the immune system. Anti-cancer. It keeps the blood sugar under control, the same way the other ones were. So it helps you control your blood sugar a little better, balances it out. And it also has anti-allergy effects. So it's really good for people who have allergies. It helps reduce histamines in the blood. So mashima, really good mushroom. So those are the mushrooms that's popular right now on the market. You can find them everywhere. I'm going to open up the floor to questions. Like I said, after I talked about the mushrooms, I want to have like a little Q&A. If you want to ask me any questions about anything, and we go through that, and then we finish the day with we done. So those are the most popular mushrooms out there. So talk to me if you have any questions.
Oh, man.
About anything. Go ahead.
Great show, great show. Every mushroom that you practically name, I can use. A lot of them have similar results. If you ever wanted to start with one particular mushroom, you want to start with reishi, and then the next one I would say is lion's mane. Okay. Thank you, Helpman.
No problem.
Question about the mushrooms. Are these mushrooms that you said that's hard to deal with, those are also sold in the health food stores?
So most of those mushrooms are found, you either find them in capsules, liquid, or teas. What I mean by hard to deal with, what I mean by that, not all mushrooms, when you think of mushrooms, the first thing you think of this soft, spongy, flavorful type of thing that we eat. Well, not all mushrooms are edible. Even though they have benefits, they're not all edible. So you can't sit down and just cut a reishi mushroom. It is a very thick top. The fruit and body is very thick and hard. So you don't have to boil that for hours upon hours before it gets soft enough. Or you have to set it in alcohol so it can get soft enough where you can, you get the nutrients from them. Or you grind them up. So that's what I mean by some of them are hard to use because they're just edible. Doesn't mean you can't use them. They're just not edible. So you have to do other ways of getting the benefits out of them.
Okay. So you have these type of things in your store, right?
Oh, definitely. We have these in the store. You can find them anywhere. You can find these anywhere. Mushrooms are so popular right now. I mean, anywhere you go, you hear people talking about right now mushrooms. And the most popular one, right, I'll have to say, is probably cordyceps and shiitake. Not shiitake. Cordyceps and lion's mane has been on fire. Been on fire right now. Like, everybody's talking. I'm on lion's mane. I think they've seen it on TikTok. So.
Health man.
Mm-hmm.
What is the usual mushroom you see in the grocery store?
Those are white button. So most people, when you buy mushrooms, those are white button mushrooms. Now, white button and portobello and things like that. You may even find shiitake. You may even find what else? What else you get? You could get what's it called? Chicken of the wood. I can't think of the name of it. Oh man, I'm gonna have to look it up. But it's a mushroom they call it chicken of the wood. These are more edible mushrooms. Now understand, all these edible mushrooms still have anti-cancer effects. Still can help you lower your cholesterol. Still give you tons of nutrition. Still detoxifies the body. All of them. There's a difference between regular edible mushrooms and more therapeutic mushrooms. Like white button I love white button and I love portobello mushrooms. I like the baby bellas, So I love those mushrooms, but they're not as strong medicinally as something like a reishi mushroom. Lion's mane is extremely flavorful mushroom. You could cook with it. It's soft. It's flavorful. Mm-hmm. That's extremely beneficial. But there's some mushrooms that's just not, like turkey tail is not as edible as something like a chicken of the wood. What the heck is the chicken of the wood called? I gotta look that up real fast. Go ahead.
Okay, so now my next question: when you prepare mushrooms to cook or what have you, or put in your salad, do you peel them?
No, you don't have to peel them. It depends on the mushroom. But usually, no, you don't have to peel them because the ones that you have that's edible, you're meant to eat that. You're meant to eat everything.
Okay.
You're meant to eat everything. Some people peel, but I don't see the benefit of peeling. I think you're just wasting a little bit of the fruit and the body of it. I think you're wasting. And the cool thing, let me tell you, the science behind the mushroom, there's so much knowledge inside the mycelium. 70% of our DNA is replicated by mushrooms. Well, we share about 70% of the same DNA as mushrooms. Mycelium, the root structure, is where all the information is. It is so much information. It is actually its own living organism. Like I said, it allows trees sometimes to communicate, but not sometimes. It allows trees to communicate. It's the World Wide Web of the forest floor. When you're getting communication, they actually can see how they study how the communication moves back and forth through trees and through the rest of the forest by mycelium. So it's extremely important. It's extremely important. And the benefits of mycelium far outweigh the fruit and body. The benefits far outweigh. Most of the immune boosting effects happen in the root structure, in that mycelium. There's more polysaccharides in that mycelium than it is found just in the in the fruit and body. So the mycelium is the powerhouse of the actual mushroom. It's where most of it. That is where most of the plant stays. Most of its life is in the mycelium. So, anybody else? Who is that making all that noise?
Somebody probably fell asleep. I know Adrienne should be excited about the mushrooms. She loves mushrooms. But for those that you make me feel like getting a mushroom soup.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Mushroom soup sounds really, really good.
You can put everything together and it will be good. But it made me think too about the cauliflower. Is that could you tell me a little bit about that? The cauliflower?
Cauliflower is different. Cauliflower is basically, if you want to say, albino broccoli. That's what cauliflower is. It's like an albino broccoli. It's nutrient. Yeah, that's what basically cauliflower is. It's in the same family. It's basically like an albino broccoli. If I had to pick and choose between cauliflower, like cauliflower has nutrition in there. Don't get me wrong. And it's really good for you, and it's low in caloric intake, and it's not a lot of starchiness, but it's really, really it's like an albino broccoli if you want to really be. So think of all the benefits you get from broccoli and take away the chlorophyll. And there you go. You got a tight cauliflower. Because when they look at them, they look the same. They look very much the same.
Yeah. So is it true that if you have like thyroid nodules, you shouldn't eat broccoli? You ever hear that?
I've heard something like that. I have never seen that to be the case, but some things, I can't say yes or no because I just don't know. I don't want to say yes to something and say no to something that I really don't know. It's a possibility, but I've never seen the case where you shouldn't really have to eat. You shouldn't eat broccoli. Really, I haven't. I mean, I know some cases where you're not supposed to eat kale, but not necessarily broccoli. I haven't seen that. So, but I don't know for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody else? Are we shutting down early today?
Brother Abdul?
Mm-hmm.
We won our hour.
Brother Abdul?
Yes.
This is Nabia.
Hey, sound like this is going to be. I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, everything was great. Excellent presentation, and I love mushrooms. I just want to share this product. It's by Country Farm. It's a super green alkaline formula with 50 organic superfoods. It's fruits, vegetables, and greens, and your mushrooms. At least 5 of them that's in this particular formula. And it's organic powder. So people want to look into that, too. You have pre and probiotic vegetables in there, and it has spirulina, alfalfa, barley green, and spinach. All of these different fruits and vegetables in this formula. I really love it. So if people want to look it up, it's by Country Farm, super green alkaline formula, and the organic fruit and vegetables in this, as well as the mushrooms that you spoke about. Not all of them, but it has at least 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah, a lot of times you don't need every last one. There's a few formulations out there, like there's a company called Host Defense. They have a couple of good mushrooms. They're really like one of the top of the brands out there called Host Defense. They have one called My Community. That's like one of the baddest mushroom formulas on the market.
Yeah,
it has like 17 different types of mushrooms, and it actually got tons of clinical research behind that product. They also have another product called Stamets 7. But there's a couple of companies out there that do really good mushrooms. There's one out there called Mushroom Wisdom. They've been doing it a long time. Mataki Diffraction, that's another company. You have also, what else? It's one out there called OM. I think the name is OM. And this is a really good, popular mushroom company out there. So you have everybody right now are making mushrooms. Everybody is making mushrooms. Everybody is really promoting mushrooms. Everybody are really talking about them. And you have some really high-quality mushroom companies out there. So,
I have a question.
Yes.
Where she was just talking about the powder and stuff. How do you use that? Do you put it in on your food? Do you put it in liquid?
Well, she's talking about a green food powder that has mushrooms in it. A lot of times, green food powders, you're adding them to water, you're adding them to juice, you're adding them to your smoothies, anything of that nature. Usually, you're not necessarily heating them up. You're more or less just adding to water, stirring them, drinking it like that, and keep it moving like that. Or add it to juice or a shake or anything of that nature. It's an easy way of getting your green foods in. It's an easy way of getting a lot of nutrition in, and a lot of, and like you said, the mushrooms too. It's an easy way of getting those in all in one, make it simple for you, and things like that. Another good thing you could do, what was the name of that product, Sister Nabia?
It's by, let's see, Country Farm.
Country Farm?
Country Farm Super Greens.
Okay, so you got Country Farm Super Greens. You have another brand out there. They make a good product. It's Vibrant Health Green Vibrance.
Yes.
They make a really good one. Vibrant Health is probably one of the better green foods out there. Did you know this? I'm going to tell y'all something. Did you know Vibrant Health is owned by a brother.
Yes, I heard that.
Yeah, it's owned by a black. It's been owned by a black guy now for almost 15, 17 years now. It's been owned by a brother for like 17 years, and they make the best greens on the market. Vibrant Health.
Yeah.
They make a product called Green Vibrance. They make another.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
No, she was saying that she was going to buy that. Yeah, I use the product often. I always keep them on the shelf. They're very excellent products. Yes.
Yeah, another one. And outside of mushrooms, something else you can also do to keep the body overall healthy. If you ever thought about using something simple, we're going into allergy season, something that can help everyone right now. We talked about this one time. We talked about quercetin. People being in allergy season right now. Another good supplement that I think everyone should think about using is a supplement called NAC, inositol-cysteine. Why NAC? This is off topic of mushrooms, but it still has a lot to do with what's going on. NAC, one of the best, most powerful antioxidant, protects your lungs. Okay? NAC protects your lungs. NAC does another thing that I really, really like a lot. NAC boosts your natural glutathione level. Now you're going to say, Abdul, what the hell is natural? What is glutathione? Glutathione is the most powerful antioxidant that we have in our body. This is created by our body through our liver and all our cells. It breaks down peroxides. This is the antioxidant just your body uses when it's time now to bring out the big guns. When it needs to break down all these harmful chemicals, the body uses a really strong antioxidant called glutathione. Okay? Glutathione is produced by the liver, and it's also produced by the cells as its own natural detoxifier. NAC is an inexpensive way to boost your natural glutathione level. So glutathione, NAC. NAC is also really good right now for allergy season. It naturally keeps histamines down. Now, we just talked about reishi. We talked about the turkey tail doing that. If you add NAC to that, NAC is also going to help. So it's a powerful protector of your lungs. And, you know, it's extremely important what we breathe in is one of our first line of defenses. So as a part of a powerful antioxidant protects your lungs. It allows the body, as it acts as a precursor to create the most powerful antioxidant in your body. That's glutathione. So NAC acts as a precursor to create your body, help your body create more glutathione. And it's also going to protect you against the allergy season. So that's another tip. Glutathione.
So is that a liquid or a powder?
NAC could come in capsules, and NAC comes in powder. It's usually capsules, but you can also find it in powder. I've never seen NAC in a liquid form. Never. It's always capsule or powder. Yeah. NAC.
Question: If your body makes that NAC, what is the purpose of buying more?
So NAC is inositol-cysteine. Your body may make a small amount of it. You are taking it in, it helps your body create more glutathione. Your body creates glutathione, but as we get older, we create less and less. It's one of the signs of aging. Also, our body is continuously being bombarded with chemicals that our body needs to make more glutathione, that it does not necessarily have the material to do that. NAC helps improve that. Another thing is this. You want your body to be working optimally. So even though it may make things, you want it to be at the optimal level of making things. You know? You know what the difference, we know a difference. Listen, our body makes energy. It creates energy for us. But there's a major difference between when you're working out and when you're not working out with your energy level. Because your body is creating more energy when you're working out. So it's working more optimally for as energy production. Okay? When you were young, the same way. Your body was making more energy. Your mitochondria was younger, making more energy. As we get older, it doesn't make it as efficiently. So we want to make sure that we're giving it the material to make sure it continuously makes it efficiently.
Gotcha.
So that's NAC. That's a little tidbit. So like I said, today was a little different. I want to talk about mushroom, but I want to do a little Q&A a little bit. Because sometimes y'all ask me questions, and I don't usually have a lot of time, and sometimes we go over a lot. So this was a little more about Q&A and a little mushrooms. If you like the mushrooms, definitely, when I'm going to post this up, y'all can look at them. And try some of these mushrooms. Popular ones,
Love
reishi, lion's mane, and maitake. You can get that. But lion's mane, reishi mushroom. You want to start with one? Those are the two I'll tell you to start with. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem, y'all. Listen, this was a good one. This was a little different one. Next week, I already have I have a great topic I want to talk about, so I already have that written down. So we're going to have a good show next week. God willing. Y'all have a good night, okay?
You too.
All right.
Take care.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.